All right, everybody. Good Thursday evening. Meteorologist Alex Carter and meteorologist Connor Tank here with us in the digital studio. Connor, a sweltering day today. We know that good and well.
Oh, my goodness, Alex. Yeah, very sweltering hot today. Summertime's here.
Summertime is here. We felt it firsthand. I was out there for doing our live shot. We were waiting on the World Cup to end. And by the time I came back inside, it's fine. It didn't take too much of a toll on us at all. It's just 20 minutes out in the heat, but you could already. My shirt was already drenched, so we're feeling it. You lose water quick in this environment, so make sure to stay cool, stay hydrated, and let's go ahead and dive into a storm right now that is happening. And I'm going to go ahead and take that on the double box look. And this storm is a pretty strong one. We were talking about this last night on Fox 54 News at 10 and 11. Some of the storms on the outer edge of the heat dome could very, very faintly sneak into our northern counties. It's a very outsider's chance, but that chance is happening right now. Fortunately, this storm, it's still very strong, but it's collapsed in size a little bit, Connor.
Yeah, right, Alex. We saw it had pretty high heights too. We saw like 40,000 feet for the heights, and driving into work today, like just moments ago, like I could see it from afar. It had high cloud tops up there. Started out in Greenwood County, now moving to the southwest. Now in Lincoln County, in our area in McCormick County. Yeah, it's a decent storm for sure.
It really is, Connor. This thing is tracing the outer edge of the heat dome. It was trying to move a little bit further south at first, and now it's feeling the dome, and it's moving due west instead of due south. It's weird because we talk about storms all the time. We're saying this storm's moving west to east. No, it's not. Not this time. It's moving east to west. And it's all because of the heat dome rearranging the steering currents that we normally see. If we put a storm track out on this is, again, a rather impressive cell. And it's moving about 20 miles an hour. And I don't know why it's saying Las Vegas there on our map, so we're going to get rid of Las Vegas. But still, this is going to be in the Lincolnton area, the Chenault community going to have to deal with this storm. Mount Carmel and Troy getting it now. McCormick seeing that storm at this moment. And again, it is moving to the west-southwest at about 20 miles an hour. I'm going to put this storm track on it. This one is a little bit better. And we'll do it at about 20 miles an hour. There we go. So Tignal, this is at about 7:13. You still got a minute if this is if you're in Wilkes County watching us. If you're in the Broad community, about 7:05. The Chenault community, I think this is going to be near you right around 6:47, 6:48, and near Grayball right at about 6:41. So just a heads up, especially for our communities on the lake. The Savannah River right now. A lot of people on Russell Lake, a lot of people on Clarksville Lake, Lake Thurman. And these storms are ones that we got to watch out for. Fortunately, I don't anticipate this being a problem the next couple of days, Connor.
Right, Alex. And we were talking about the sweltering heat earlier on. Places in Greenwood County, Wilmington. These guys got a break from the heat from a little bit from this storm, which is kind of a good thing.
That they did.
Kind of not highlighting the severity of it, but.
I'm thankful that we're not seeing just a whole lot of these storms to go along with the heat right now, because some of these storms are packing a punch. These are not the kind of storms that you want, and we were showing the damage reports last night. If I actually go back, you can actually see all the storm reports from just earlier over the past 24 hours, and again, see some of those in Alabama, see some of those in the upstate. It's one of those type of days where severe weather can happen. So hopefully that storm in McCormick and Lincoln County is not going to produce too much damage. You can see the risk of thunderstorms and where that's at today. We're on the outskirts of that risk, Connor. Areas in North Alabama, Northwest Georgia are getting the worst of the weather tonight. So even late tonight, they could see some pretty nasty storms rolling through.
Ooh. Yeah, just need to stay weather aware, like you mentioned, Alex.
Yeah, that's it. Spot on. And we're not going to see too much in the way of at least damaging winds and hail here. I think that risk is going to be well to the north. The only cell that we're watching is Lincoln and McCormick counties. They're about 7 to 7:15 tonight. But now let's get to the 4th of July weekend. I know for many of you that starts tomorrow. We will be here at Fox 54. Connor's going to be on a boat tomorrow. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do any swimming, Alex.
Really?
Not,
Okay,
not,
all
not
right.
until later on.
That's fine.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, looking forward to it. Doing a story with Ranger Bramlett on boat safety again. Nice guy. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So learning a lot about boat safety, of course, taking those simple measures when it comes to staying cool and hydrated as well. That's going to be a big thing this weekend. Our high temperatures will be near 100, just about 98 each and every single day. Forecast models, they are notorious for this. We hit 95 today, Connor. That was our high. And this is why we go to school. We beat the model. And, we try to be better than the models. We don't want computers to take us over. The computers are a good guide, but we beat the model. And we've been beating the model all week because we've been forecasting temperatures that are cooler than what the model's been putting out. The model put out 97 for today. We hit 95. The model's putting out 100 for Saturday and Sunday. And by the model, we're talking about NBM, the National Blend of Models, just the general consensus of all of them. We're going a little cooler than that. It takes an act of Congress to get us to 100 degrees.
Stole the words out of my mouth, Alex. I was just going to say, you've mentioned this to me several times. It takes a lot for our area to see 100 degrees. You've seen it, but not too often.
There's so many little things, that actually come into play when you're thinking about this, and that's part of the forecast that we're looking into, and we'll show you that coming up as well. We're talking about atmospheric mixing. That's a big thing. I posted a Facebook graphic. We got sciencey earlier on Facebook, just talking about how the lapse rates in the atmosphere can actually bring some of that dry air from the mid-levels down and lower the dew point. We're getting into splitting hairs here. It's going to be very hot this weekend. That's all you need to know. And let's go ahead and show you what the heat index is looking like for Saturday and for Sunday. We'll put that up full screen. You can see your area. Generally, the dew points will be higher north of I-20. That's not something you say all the time, but that is kind of what's happening. And Saturday and Sunday afternoons, the highest heat index values will be along and north of I-20. I think Sunday's heat index will be slightly hotter than the heat index on Saturday, Connor.
Right, Alex. Yeah, but either way, it's still going to be very hot. And with Sunday having that 20% chance of rain, tapered off on our rain chances just a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, any area of the CSRA that gets a brief period of a isolated thunderstorm or some rain showers, get a break from that high heat index value, cool off a little bit, so that'll be nice too, especially if you're outside.
No doubt about it, Connor. I think we're going to really need to make sure to stay cool, stay hydrated. The electrolytes part of it as well. Sports drinks are always good for those. Getting liquid IVs, all those type of drinks, they can really replenish you, especially when you're sweating a lot in the sun, which I think a lot of us will probably be doing just in a couple days. I'm thinking today is Friday, and it's not. That's tomorrow. But we are pacing ourselves for what's going to be a very hot forecast in the days ahead. I'll show you the 7-day real quick, and we'll pop us back up. I do think, we are getting cooler next week, air temperature-wise. Explain to us, though, Connor, why is it actually going to be a little bit hotter probably Monday and Tuesday?
Well, Alex, we got good old Bermuda high coming back to the southeast United States, churning up that moisture, that tropical moisture coming from the Gulf. And what that's going to do is, since we're going to have more moisture in our area, our dew point values are going to go back up. So even though the heat dome is not going to be the big player here anymore, we're still in the summertime, so we're going to have high temperatures plus high dew points with the moisture content in play. It's going to feel sticky outside once again for the CSRA, Alex.
It definitely is. And, Connor, there's that Bermuda high that you're talking about. The dome's going to break up, and the dome is going to kind of shift westerly next week. So the heat dome will start out more so in the Four Corners region, and it's just going to get more intense for places like New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, all that, and the Rocky Mountain West. And then here, the heat dome breaks down, but that does not mean it's going to get cooler. Please remember that. The Bermuda high is going to increase our dew points. A subtle difference in dew points literally makes all the world of difference. You can have a dew point in the upper 60s and hardly have a heat index. You can have a dew point in the 70s. Even like a difference of 68 to 75 in the dew points creates a drastic difference in how it feels outside. So the Bermuda high is going to stir up all that ocean moisture. Combine that ocean moisture with what's just your typical summer pattern, and the heat, it's going to be a blazing hot stretch. I do think the humidity will actually get worse next week. And on the backside of this heat dome, we are expecting more of a stormy pattern to take shape, and I will draw that out here. We do expect clusters of storms. Now, for us, it's just a matter of, okay, there's a cold front coming in from the north and west. We know it's not going to make it across our area because it's going to stay hot, but what does that mean for us when it comes to our rain chances? Well, the cold front doesn't look to get that close to us early in the week. And Connor, I was just talking about that in the latest data. Right now, it doesn't look like we have a trigger for thunderstorms. We have daytime heating as the trigger, but we don't have the cold front to really make those rain chances go up. So as a result, I think it's going to just stay at about 20% Sunday, 30% on Monday, and then we'll slightly go up, but it's not going to be widespread at any point next week is what it looks like.
Right, Alex. And like you said, ground heating is still a trigger, but it's just not as intense of a trigger as a cold front. But we can see that the Midwest United States, they're going to be pretty active, and that's normal for this time of year too.
It definitely.
Their active time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, places like Minnesota, the Dakotas, Wisconsin, out west, they start to see more active weather in the summer months. And for us, it's just pretty quiet other than your traditional bubble-up thunderstorms. I think next week we could start to see a slightly better chance. Here's hoping, because, again, this is the luck of the draw. These are the rain chances that we talk about all the time, and we say it's raining down the street from you. It's not happening in your front yard. It's that type of setup, the kind that we saw in May. We saw one of the top 6 wettest Mays on record. And now we've gone into a somewhat of a drier pattern. June, we've seen a few bouts of rain, but we still fell short of where we wanted to be for the month of June when it come to rain. For some areas, by about 2 inches. And this is a pattern that hopefully will start to get us back in July. July is one of our top 3 wettest months of the year. It's June, July, and August. So we need to pile up our rain now, because if we don't, we know what happens sometimes in the fall. It can get really dry. I think El Nino is going to save us there. I think that's going to help us out.
Yeah, Alex, once that southern jet starts kicking in, it's going to elevate our rain chances. Mm-hmm. We definitely need that because, usually this time of year in the southeast, it's pretty dry. Unless we get a tropical system, and then we'll have a couple days of some decent rainfall, usually.
Yeah, that's exactly right. December to April is our active season with a lot of fronts that roll through. But if you don't see a lot of rain during that time frame, you are really relying on the tropics and summertime storms to fuel your rain chances. And, you see this pattern here, this going into Tuesday. It's very hit or miss. These are no washout days. None of them are washout days, Sunday or next week. Far from it, in fact. I think the coverage does get better Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But even then, still, we're just kind of hoping that we can get a front nearby that could really fuel the rain chances. But right now, doesn't seem like that is very likely. So, again, just keeping tabs on kind of what we're doing in the extended outlook. But right now, I think it's just going to be hot, sunny, and humid. And if you get rain next week, you're going to be the fortunate ones that cool down a little bit. And here's that latest drought monitor, by the way. I do want to show you that. Still in a moderate drought, and Barnwell, Sylvania, Allendale, and Bamberg are still in a severe drought. So the low country desperately needs rain. They're still tracking what is a historically dry spell there.
Yeah, Alex, and it's unfortunate, because we were dealing, it just feels like yesterday, we had forest fires in our southernmost counties of Georgia, like in Brantley County. Even in parts of the low country experienced forest fires. And then we got the tail end of May, we got a decent amount of rainfall, ended up being one of the wettest Mays on record.
Yeah.
And even throughout June, like updated on June 25th, we see a great change in the drought monitor. A lot of areas either abnormally dry or not even dry anymore.
Yeah, that's spot on.
It's unfortunate because June we didn't see as much rain as we wanted to see. So July is the time that we need to see some rain.
Spot on. I think, hopefully we can get some much-needed downpours in there. I think next week, at least the pattern looks more traditional summertime, which still doesn't always give us the best rain chances, but it's better than nothing. And I think that's something to bank on headed into the next several days here. Looking ahead into the severe thunderstorm warning, we'll wrap up with this. It is now moving across the Savannah River. That gust front's probably pretty strong with this. I'd say up to 40-mile-an-hour gust possible along the front. The downburst gust could get up to 60, and this is crossing right over the Savannah River, right over the Chenault community. Wade, if you're watching, one of our viewers who is in the Chenault community, this is right near you, the Honora, the Bordeaux area, and we're going to see this tracking towards the west. We'll see if they extend that severe thunderstorm warning. That'll be the National Weather Service in Atlanta that picks that up, and that would be towards Tignal and Rail. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick storm track on this. And, Tignal, we're looking at an arrival time of about 7:03. Jackson's Crossroads, 7:19. So just be on the lookout in these areas. Again, that thunderstorm is a strong one. Most of us are staying dry tonight, and we just wanted to break into Facebook here and give you the latest update on kind of what's ahead for the 4th of July as well. So joining us again tomorrow, we're going to have more coverage. And Connor's going to have more on boat safety out at Clarksville Lake, which is going to be a phenomenal day. So exciting.
That's right, Alex. Going to be staying dry too. Hopefully, I'm almost certain that's the case, and I'm looking forward to it. I did a boat safety story for Memorial Day weekend, highlighting that. Didn't get to go out on the boat though, Alex. So this is going to be quite the treat.
The boat's going to be a good time. Hopefully, you can get some fishing in. Connor, if you don't know, an avid fisherman himself. So.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I became. I wouldn't even say borderline obsessed at this point, Alex.
Yes, I would say so. I think that's the case by now, which is really cool because, a lot of you love to fish out on Clarksville Lake or Lake Thurman, whatever you want to call it. And Connor knows a lot about it. You were talking about it to me. You were filling me in on some of the stuff about Clarksville.
Yeah, Alex. And unfortunately, I haven't fished on Clarksville Lake. I've heard about the fishery there. I am very much looking forward to the day I get out in Clarksville. And
Are you bringing your rod tomorrow? I mean, I think you're going to have to. I think that's like a rite of passage.
Given, right?
It's a given. You love to fish. You're out at Clarksville Lake. Everybody just encourage him to go fishing sometime. All right. Well, anyways, from the Fox City 4 Digital Weather Center, it's Alex and Connor here. And, of course, we're tracking that strong thunderstorm moving across Lincoln County at this hour, and hopefully that'll start to die down soon as it heads into Wilkes County. We'll talk more tonight. You'll see meteorologist Connor Tank here for the forecast at 10 and 11, and you'll see me tomorrow after the World Cup, and I'll have a live update on Facebook as well before we sign off for Independence Day weekend. Going to be fun. Stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated, and again, we'll talk to you soon and see you tonight at 10.